Here's an exercise demonstration video for the floor press. Floor press is a fantastic exercise to be able to work your chest and shoulders while also keeping those joints safe and not overdoing it at either the shoulder or the elbow. As a quick demonstration, remember, put the weights on your thighs, roll yourself back so you have that safety upon entry. I'm just using 15-pound dumbbells for our demonstration here so that it's easy for you to see. But here's the floor press. Moving up and down with the arms and shoulders, doing the work to lift those dumbbells straight up. You can have your feet off the floor, you can put your feet flat on the floor, or if it's tolerable and comfortable, you can even have your legs out straight. Make sure your low back stays in contact with the floor, so we don't want to see an arch showing up underneath this low back. Remember, this space right here means that your spine is not braced and protected. Tighten the abs, keep the low back flat on the floor, and then remember, as you're doing your floor press, we bring the weights down until the elbows touch the ground. And in this moment right here, I'm going to push my elbows into the ground even harder before I start to drive those weights back up again. Now, if I ditch one of these weights to give you a better example here, once the elbow touches the ground, if I try to push it down into the ground even more forcefully, that's going to give me the activation and the work that I want in the upper back and shoulders. Remember, those muscles are responsible for keeping your shoulder blade in the right place as your chest muscle moves the weight upward. If the chest muscle contracts and it's not counteracted by the forces of the upper back, then the movement is also going to move the shoulder blade. And you can see here how little daylight has shown up underneath my shoulder blade. When we do our press, we want to get rid of that space. We want to move our elbow down and move it back up again and still have no space underneath the low back. Underneath the shoulder. If the shoulder lifts up, if each press lifts the shoulder blades, we're going to be overloading the joint of the shoulder instead of just working the chest muscles and the front of the shoulder here. So for that floor press, make sure that each time you do this, you start with those weights on top of your thighs so you have safety as you roll back. Push the weights up as you get flat onto your back. Make sure the low back is firmly on the floor. And now let's move until the elbows touch the ground and push back up again. Noticing that pressure as we push the elbows down against the immovable object that is the floor. This is important for the safety. Put these dumbbells on your thighs and push up with your knee as you roll back. That way you're pushing these weights to the ceiling as you go flat onto your back. Notice when I begin, the weight is directly above my shoulder, not above my face, but instead above the shoulder. Coming down, the weight is pushing my elbows into the ground, but I'm going to add the force of my upper back and shoulders, and then I'm going to drive the weights back to the ceiling. Each time you do this, making sure you're keeping that forearm vertical. Vertical from the side and vertical from the front. And when you're done with your set, right here, very important, put those dumbbells to your knees. Make that connection so you can roll yourself up. And that way, at all times, your shoulder is in this braced position. There's nothing worse than getting hurt at the end of your set because you put the weights down this way and that caused an overload along the front of your arm or shoulder. If you're putting the weights off to the side, you can get hurt, but we want to go right here and then roll your way up so that you have that control. Keep that in mind as you do your floor press, and you'll be able to work the chest and shoulders without endangering those joints. This is a great one if you spend a lot of time at a desk or any job that has your hands in front of you doing the work, which is a lot of 21st century life nowadays. All right, hope this was helpful.